Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, you're gonna get the conclusion to what's turned out to be a pretty epic story. The title says it all. If you didn't see the first part of this video, you can find it right here if you want to watch it first. Otherwise, I can give you the Cliff Notes version, which is basically, I bought a PS5 brand new from GameStop on their website, not in the store. They sent it to me, brand new again, not used. And as soon as I plugged it in, it gave me an error code that upon looking it up said that the console was reported stolen, so it was deactivated by Sony. And I called Sony directly multiple times, talked to like 6 different people at Sony, 6 different people at GameStop. Everyone told me to call someone else. No one was willing to help me. And I was stuck with it for a few months, and then finally, GameStop said that I could return it to them and get my money back, and that was what the last video went over. It went over the details of everything, so if you're like, doesn't sound legit, whatever, that video has all the information. The update to this is, what happened? Did I actually get my money back? Because that video ended on a cliffhanger. And what actually happened? How did that console end up as stolen? So feel free to drop a like if you're going to be entertained by this. Subscribe to the channel because I got lots more stories to tell you guys that I'm super excited for. Right before I get into the video though, we're going to talk about something delicious, because obviously this situation was not very delicious. Sponsor of today's video is Magic Spoon cereal, and the reason they're sponsor is because they literally won me over. A lot of you guys know I have cystic fibrosis and I also have diabetes. So I have to get non-stop calories taken in, and I also have to watch my sugar and take insulin. Sugar is kind of bad for you, right? Magic Spoon cereal, there is 0 sugar and 4 net carbs. There's also 13 grams of protein per serving. There's fruity, there's chocolate, there's peanut butter. I actually like to mix these together, the chocolate and the peanut butter. It's a delight to the senses. To actually like all these flavors, they have other limited edition flavors as well. So because that Magic Spoon is sponsoring the channel, if you click the link below, you can actually grab a variety pack of all 4 of these flavors and try it out today. And if you use the promo code JakeRandall, as you see it on screen right now, all one word, you can get $5 off any order. Or you can go to magicspoon.com/JakeRandall. So right now we've got some peanut butter mixed with the chocolate, and it's going to be delicious. Remember, Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. It's honestly really good. Okay, so what I thought had happened to my PlayStation 5 that I ordered from GameStop, when I called Sony, this is in the last video, they told me that it was stolen from PlayStation Direct. Now, I've bought a PlayStation from PlayStation Direct, and the thing that's special, whether you buy a controller from there or a PS5 or whatever, is in addition to the clear sticker that seals the box, there's also this special PlayStation holographic sticker that goes on next to it. So the only way that that holographic sticker is there is if it's from PlayStation Direct. And so I noticed that, and I noticed that the one that I bought from GameStop, again, I don't have it anymore because I've returned it, but if you go to the last video, I hold it up, I have pictures, everything you need to see is in that video. Again, we'll link it right here. So there was no holographic sticker, so the box itself wasn't from PlayStation Direct. That was proven accurate because the serial number on the console didn't match the serial number on the box. When you buy a PS5, the serial number is actually on the box, and it's also on the console. And I went and looked, and I was like, oh my god, they don't match. So what I was thinking originally, again, you know, this had just happened to me, so I hadn't put it all together yet, but I thought, okay, maybe someone working at the GameStop warehouse was in on something, and someone had stolen a bunch of stuff, a bunch of consoles from PlayStation Direct from some shipment, and, you know, maybe at the GameStop warehouse, they were swapping them into the fresh boxes, and the reason they swapped the boxes was because of that, you know, that special sticker. They didn't want it to be traced back to PlayStation Direct, so they, you know, put the consoles on in the GameStop boxes. That way, by the time someone caught on, like me, that they had been ripped off, they wouldn't be able to, you know, be caught. You know, that's what I figured happened. But there was a comment on the video, and so I thought it was something like that. Not that exactly, but you know what I mean? Something like that. There was a comment on the video, and I was like, oh my God, that's probably what happened. And the comment was like, I bet that someone had these stolen consoles from PlayStation Direct, and what they did was they bought a bundle from GameStop, put their stolen console in the GameStop box, and then just returned it to GameStop. And it was like, oh, I don't want it anymore. So they returned the entire bundle. And that was a way of basically like money laundering, but it's like console laundering. So it's like they're laundering their console. They're making it clean by, they might have not bought it just from GameStop. They might have bought PS5s from different retailers and just took all their stolen PS5s and swapped them out for the good PS5s. But yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. So anyways, so I think that's what happened. I think that someone had stolen consoles, knew that they would probably get in trouble or tracked down if they sold the stolen consoles. So they bought legit ones, swapped them out, returned it as new, and then just, you know, then probably scalped the consoles that were good and not stolen, which I guess is good for the people that paid a scalper for them. Like, I would hate someone to pay a scalper and then have the console be bricked. But again, it's just an awful situation. Like, I don't even need to explain to you like how messed up that is. It's still sketchy on GameStop's part because literally there's a cutout in the box that lets you see the serial number on the console, and then there's a serial number on the box. When they're taking a return for a brand new console, they need to check that. They could have caught that easily and been like, this doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And when I called them to return it, I told them, I was like, listen, the serial number doesn't match. I got it like this. So they knew that with me because I told them. But like, if I hadn't have told them that, they should have checked it and then been like, whoa, you returned this, but the serial number doesn't match. You know, you didn't tell us that, blah, blah, blah. And then I could be like, oh, I didn't know, or whatever, or I got it like that. But here's the thing, is like, it's not okay for them to sell it as new when it was opened and tampered with. And I guess at like, how far do you check? Like, it looked sealed to me, but all it has is that little sticker. And I guess like the thing is, anytime they're taking a return, some of their returns, they just get mailed in. So no one like physically checks it till it's actually like back at their warehouse. And so no human sees it. But when their warehouse receives those returns, those need to be checked. Like, come on, like if this happened to me, it's probably happened to other people. And that's what really got me upset and concerned, is like, I have like a large following on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, and that probably helps me to my advantage. But what about like the average person that this would happen to, and they would have no recourse? You know what I mean? So the conclusion of what happened is, the end of my last video, I was like, oh, there was this really, really helpful person that helped me. Her name was Brianna. She was so kind and sweet, listened to me, confirmed that all the other GameStop employees that had helped me hadn't done it correctly, and fixed it for me, and was like, you can take it to a GameStop store or a UPS, or no, not a UPS, a FedEx store today, have it shipped back, and we'll have that money back to you. And I was like, awesome. And I was like, guys, I'm going to do it right now. And that's how I ended the video. After the video, I went, and I wanted to do it like as legit as possible. Like, I didn't want this to come back at me. I didn't want to return this console and then have GameStop be like, no, you didn't return it, or there's something weird about it. You know what I mean? So I went to a GameStop because she told me I could. And I was like, yeah, I'm just returning this. You just got to ship it back to your headquarters, whatever. And they're like, oh, we can't do that. And I was like, it's already all processed online or whatever. And they're like, nope. So they sent me to a Staples, and they're like, oh, the Staples has a FedEx thing in it, and you can just do it there. I went, the Staples only had UPS. The prepaid slip that GameStop gave me was only good for FedEx. So I had to leave. So not only did GameStop refuse to just let me drop the console off, they also gave me directions to a wrong place, which is like, it's fine. Like, that's not that big a deal. Like, if that's their policy, whatever. I wasn't upset about that. But like, I'm just telling you this to add to like everything that happened in this story. So that happens. So I finally, all right, I'm like, okay, I go to a FedEx place, they scan like the code that GameStop had emailed me, and they're like, there's nothing coming up for this. So I had to spend about 30 minutes at FedEx trying to have them figure out, you know, how to get this to work or whatever. I tried like calling GameStop back, emailing them. Nothing worked. So finally, like FedEx just like made their own, and they're like, whatever. And it's like, it's going to bill them when they get there. And I was like, I felt uncomfortable about that, because I'm like, I want this to like be legit, but they're like, no, it's fine. I was like, okay. So, and I gave them the PS5, didn't have it, the shipping box anymore, didn't have anything else, just the console in the box. They slapped the label right on it. They're like, you sure, like someone like could potentially take this? And I was like, well, that tells me a lot about how you feel about your brand or your company. But I was like, honestly, it's a brick. I mean, they're gonna take it and realize it's worth nothing. And like GameStop, God forbid, they should not be selling that again. Sony already said that they won't reinstate the online access. So it shouldn't be for anything other than GameStop to, I don't even know, with it. Obviously, I didn't feel the best about that. I was like, okay, we'll see if I get my money back. A week goes by, no money back. And I'm like, okay, this is like Groundhog Day. It's all over again, except now I actually finally sent the console back, so I have nothing. So I called GameStop again, got another customer service agent, and he told me, Brianna, bless her heart, I really do believe that she thought she had helped me, but she had done something wrong too. And he's like, no, this is not processed. Like, it needs to be approved by like so-and-so, like someone at this level for it to go through. I can try to have that done for you and like have, you know, have someone look at it today, but like I can't promise anything, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I already gave you back the $500 console. It's sent back. I have nothing. Like, I'll take a gift card. I'll take a replacement console. I'll take a refund on my card. I'll do anything. Like, please just like, don't let me get completely screwed over by this. Like, just, I'm really willing to do whatever it takes. And he's like, no, I'll look into it. And so he was a nice guy. And I was like upset, so I vented to him some of the stuff that I was venting to you guys about. And not like aggressively, but just like, as like, help me. Like, this is what I've gone through. And he was nice, he listened or whatever. But I didn't feel as good after I hung up the phone as I did with Brianna. But hours after that conversation, he never called me back. But hours after that conversation, I got a new email that the refund was processed. And I checked my bank account and all the money was put back. He put it back on my card. So I forget that guy's name. I want to say Brian, but I think maybe I'm just thinking that because Brianna. But he obviously, like, he actually like went and did something that was probably difficult to do to actually make sure I got my money back. And I got it back that day that I talked to him. So I will say, like, this messed up stuff happens, and like I get upset at Sony, I get upset at GameStop, because like it's not my fault, obviously, but it's also not like the employees that are working at the customer service level's fault. And that's really important to remember, I think. And at the end of the day, it was those employees from GameStop who, there was mistakes made along the way, but at the end of the day, they did make it right. Maybe it took a little more time than I wanted, a little more effort than I wanted, but it also wasn't their fault, right? It wasn't those employees' fault. And it's their job to help me, so maybe it should have gone smoother at some point, but it's kind of a really bizarre situation. But at the end of the day, conclusion of the story is, obviously there was some kind of scammy thing going on where someone did swap out the console, and then at the end of the day, yes, it was a bundle. I kept everything from the bundle except the console, and I was refunded $499. So just the console. There's no sales tax in my state. I know, you can hate me. I live in New Hampshire, so I got paid exactly $499 for the console, got exactly $499 back, and I kept Ratchet and Clank, which I already had, but I had given it to a friend. I kept the Midnight Black controller, and then a year of PS Plus. I just added that on to what I had, and I forget honestly what else came with it. Spider-Man came with that. Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I gave that to my friend before Christmas, because I helped him get a PlayStation 5 for him and his son, who's 8 years old, and I gave him that, and I was like, oh, like, you guys will probably like this, and he's like, dude, this is the only game my son wanted for Christmas, so I was really happy about that. And he's like, you always come through for him in the weirdest ways, because a couple of years ago, I gave his son my entire Pokemon card collection, and you should have seen his face. He like lit up. It was amazing. But he was so into Pokemon at that time. And like, again, that was also kind of random. So he's like, you always just come through for him. So that made me happy. But anyways, so I guess it's a good story, a happy conclusion, but crazy story. Let me know your guys' thoughts, comments, and let me know your stories in the comments below. Just your reactions, what you think of all of it. And like I said, thank you to Magic Spoon for sponsoring this video, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I've got another crazy story that I'm so excited to tell, because the entire thing is so wholesome. There's drama, there's laughter, there's legitimate tears, and it has to do with the Halo Edition Xbox Series X and how I lost my order, but it's so good. All right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, you guys.